Does the last link works for everyone that is not logged in? Should be public.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining. Okay, so let's get started without waiting further. I would please ask you, could you send the public link onto the Mattermost as well, please?
Actually, I copied and pasted from Mattermost here, and yeah, it doesn't work properly. The internal link works fine because I was editing, and also Paul was editing as well. But can you check? Can you check the public link, because or I copied, I mean badly copied, or it doesn't work.
Let's just wait a second for Alexander and Mab to help us out on this, because I do not have access to anything myself currently.
Okay, wait.
Hello, Mab. So please, Mab and Alexander, could you please generate a public link for the minutes and send this link both on the conversation here and on the Mattermost chat for the boards, please.
Hello, there seems to be some issue with the website. I haven't seen that before. Is that a new issue?
What does it say to do? Is it 403?
Well, when I try to go to Outline, I get a permission denied kind of thingy.
So you have the same issue as me and it checks out.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Alexander is here. So we would need someone from the board with access to the minutes or Alexander to edit a public link for the minutes.
So I think it's a problem with the website, and that means that no one will be able to access it.
No, actually, I was here, and then I can try to refresh the page, but also Alexander just updated a minute ago, so less than a minute ago. So I think that, let me see.
This is weird. It seems that I can access it on my phone, but not on my desktop.
Let me try to refresh the page and let's see what happened. No, it's work.
No, I mean, it's almost sure that it's not a global issue, but I will need someone to edit a proper public link for everyone, please.
Okay, share.
Can you share the link again, please, Alexander? Both here and on Mattermost.
Yeah, the 403. Do you remember I had the same issue last time? I had exactly the same issue, and it seems that probably Outline is blocking some IP, because I changed the network later on, and then I restarted my router, and then I was able to log in. It was afterwards. Just after a couple of hours. But now it works. Yeah, this should be the public one, but
Can you send it on Mattermost as well, please?
yes, of course. But the public one is not working. The one ending, the one just that Paul just posted doesn't work for me. Loading failed. The one in CAAD6.
Yikes, then I don't know what to do.
Yeah. So though what Alexander did just to switch the toggle on, so everybody actually could now see the first one. That is actually the private one.
Okay, I've got the one set by Alexander. What I can try to do is copy
Yeah, I
this
see people. Yeah, I see people editing it.
and putting it here.
You are editing, Paul, right?
Oh, I'm writing a novel here.
And this.
Okay, so meanwhile, who is present? Paul, Cal, Matej, Marietta, Mab, Alexander. So who is missing? Natalie, Peter, and that's it. Okay. No, sorry, made a mistake. Okay, guests, Thomas, numero 6, Bastian, Pirates on Air, and who else? Nobody else. No. Well, Alexander, you're there. So you should be. Yeah, you are there. Okay. So should we start anyway? It's already.
Yeah, we can go. I have something for me. Okay, so let's say it's open at 6:42. Right below the opening, please mention that there was a problem with access to the outline and everything. Moving on to the election of a meeting chair, I'm volunteering for this thingy. Does anyone wants to do it instead? I suppose that's a no. So then, unless someone calls for vote, I will consider that it is approved. And I will be chairing then. Thank you. Next point is the meeting secretary. So unfortunately, I cannot help with this. Alessandro, you do have access.
I
Would you
do
be
also,
up for
Paul.
it?
Yes, sure. Paul, if you want to compliment me or help, you're welcome.
Yeah, okay. So
Thank
Paul
you.
and Alessandro doing it. Likewise, unless someone calls for a formal vote, we will consider it to be done. Okay, that's done. Paul and Alessandro being secretaries. Now onto the agenda. So the agenda today, 4 main points, talking about the council meeting, talking about the yearly agenda, the Think Twice conference, and the board work organization. Does something needs to be discussed here, or is it good? Can we proceed to vote? Okay, I can consider we are proceeding to vote. So then please cast your vote for the approval of the agenda. And mine is yes. If someone could record it, please.
Also, if somebody else has a problem accessing the agenda and would like to, yeah, yes, Matei, maybe Marietta Cal. Okay.
Okay, you tell me, yes, Alexander, yes, we have begun. You tell me, Alessandro, if everyone is in or not.
Pardon, sorry, what is wrong? Or
Tell me if everyone has voted or not, because I cannot see it.
I see, yeah, I see all the vote casted, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So then the next point is the approval of last minute's agenda from the previous meeting. Does someone has a remark about it?
Yeah, I wasn't able to access the.
Okay, I will consider no remarks, so we can proceed to approve the last minutes. And my vote is yes as well, please.
Okay.
I copy pasted everyone into yes except Alessandro. So please delete yourself if you have a different vote.
If you can access, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. No decisions were taken between the meetings. So we are skipping to the reports. You will have time to read through them. I noticed now that because of the outline issues, my report didn't go through. That's a shame. But it was, I did it late anyway, so that's on me. And moving directly onto the discussions and the decisions. So the first point is the time and place for the next board meeting. Our pre-agreement is for, as a reminder, the pre-agreement is for the meetings to be held on the last Sunday of every month. So the next one should be on the 31st of May at 6:30 Central European Time. Does that sound good for everyone?
Let me check. May 21st.
31st, not 20,
yeah.
30.
31st. Okay. Just a second. I will tell you immediately. But I think that, yeah. Yeah. It works for me as usual.
Okay, Alessandro, you tell us when you're ready.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you're
all good.
available?
Yeah, I sorry. I thought I already said it's fine for me.
Okay, thank you. So then, unless someone raises their hand now, we can proceed to approve formally.
Okay, then.
So let's go on and formally vote on this. My vote is yes for the 31st of May at 6:30 Central European Time. Okay, thank you for this. Moving on to the points of today. The first point is about calling a council meeting. Briefly, the main reason for convening a council meeting would be to redo the statutes. What happened is that the subsection about the liquidation has been refused by the registering body, and the way forwards, as I confirmed with them, is to approve new statutes and then submit them. Currently, you have two competing proposals, one which I wrote and one which Mab wrote. So I would ask Mab to introduce his, simply to note that mine is simply asking for a meeting to be called as soon as possible. So yeah, Mab.
Yes. So if you have the notes, you'll see that I suggested that the board decides that the council meeting should be held on Saturday, 5th of July. This is for a couple of reasons. One, I don't see myself being able to attend a meeting before that. So if you want input from the Secretariat, then this is the earliest convenient moment. Saturday instead of Sunday, because I think, well, to me it makes more sense, but that's very flexible. And the other thing would be that since we'll have a board election at the meeting, because the statute says that we have to, we need to have enough time between the decision to call the council meeting and the council meeting taking place for people to actually be able to nominate people for the vacant spot before the deadline as written in the statutes. So this would be more practical since we want to have a board meeting. The statutes are of course important, but 1 month will not make a difference.
If I may, right before you, Alessandro, something I forgot to add is that this might be important for the banking stuff. Were you able to get feedback on this map?
No, so we don't know if this will be an issue with the banks. The bank wants to have our statutes, so we will have to explain that that we have one version that is approved in the registry, which is an old one, and one version that is approved by the members, which is a newer one. Hopefully they will be perfectly happy with that, but I haven't gotten a confirmation on that yet. But we will move ahead with that regardless of the date for the council meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Alessandro.
Yeah, thanks. So that's a good news, Mab, because I was about to ask if we are going to move regarding the bank account, because I'm still waiting to send out the invoices to all the members, because I would like to invoice them and to put the new bank account instead of the old one. That, in my opinion, makes much more sense. Of course, if this will not happen anytime, I will have to, anyway, because the thing is that we probably are able to still receive the money in the FIO bank account, but we will not be able to touch it once there. So it would make much more sense to receive it when in the new bank account. Also, I'm sorry to say that May the 31st, I would be able to join the board meeting, but not to attend a full council meeting. So this date won't go work for me either. And also, just a quick, it's not the 5th, but the 4th of July, according to my calendar map.
You're entirely right. I think I forgot to change the date when I changed the day. So it should be 4th of July.
Jumping on this, why not having it in June?
Well, you can. It's a shorter time between you announce it and deadline for nominations, and I will not be able to attend.
If I may jump in, the problem with the bank is basically that we cannot retrieve the money and we cannot pay anything. So now basically every month I'm paying a couple of invoices by my own pocket. So, and that was already been the case since the beginning. But because these are peanuts, 1 month or more or less doesn't really matter for me. I hope that we at the end can open this bloody new bank account, because the most relevant expenses was basically the venue for the last board meeting. After that,
Okay, so I suggest that we scrap my proposal and move to approve the two Secretary General proposals. If they sound good for everyone. Does someone wants to react to this, add something, share a thought, a counter proposal? Okay, I will take that as a no. So please scrap my own proposal about the 31st of May. And let's formally vote on both the Secretary General proposals. My vote on both is yes, by the way.
Sorry, Chair. I mean, there is also there are actually two proposals. One is the SecGen proposal about the board decides that the European Pirates should convene an online council meeting, blah, 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 held the 4th of July at 11 a.m. and blah, 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 and mandates for. And then there is another proposal, the SecGen proposal, to add the topic of changing the logo. Are two different proposals. Should we vote the first one? Yeah.
Yeah, I moved maybe a bit too fast, but it's just a suggestion. It's a proposal to suggest to add something to the agenda. Map, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mention it before because I thought we would take them one at a time, but I'm very happy to explain.
Sorry.
So,
Okay.
a year ago, roughly, the board asked the council to defer the power of deciding on the logo from the council to the board, but the council wanted to be keeping that power with themselves and asked the board to come in with a proposal in case they want to change the logo. The Secretariat is this year tasked in the work plan from the members to do a visual overhaul of the website. And when we've looked at that, we've realized that the current logo is very restrictive in what we can do with the website because of its many colors and elements. So we think a simplified logo would, and a more allowing logo would be easier to use for the website and for other material. And but we haven't really worked out the details of it. But of course, the core element of the logo, the sail, would still be there. And that would be for the board to then look at the next meeting when we proposed a proposal from the Secretariat to the board, and then propose to the members so they can formally decide on it at the council meeting. And of course, if the board is unhappy with the proposal from the Secretariat, you can change it for whatever you want, or you can scrap the proposal altogether. But this is basically to allow us to move ahead with the overhaul of the visual identity that is part of the work plan, while still following the instructions from the council meeting from last year.
Map, how do you decide the overhaul, and is there a tender for, I don't know, proposals?
Well, the decision will be done by the communications team with input from the management team. And there is no tender for proposals at the time because we're waiting for this decision and logo before we can move ahead with anything. We have an offer from an external actor to do total overhaul of our website for us for free, but we haven't looked into if that would fit with our current usage of WordPress and so on. So we don't know if that will be what we end up doing. But currently we're kind of limited by the logo. So we are trying to solve that first.
Okay, so if I understand, you don't have a proposal for the logo yet. You just need the approval, and then they will have some that we can look at.
The proposal is that you task us with making a proposal, and then you will get that proposal from us so that you can decide on it before the council meeting.
All right.
Any other questions?
Nope. So we're voting separately. I mean, both of them,
Yes.
but okay. So
It separates.
okay. Thanks.
Okay, so if no further questions, we can proceed to vote on each of the proposals. And if you'd please record my yes vote for both of them.
I did.
Thanks.
Please, Carl, Matei, Marietta, also check the minutes. Thanks.
Done.
All good, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Moving on to the next point, which is the yearly agenda. So last council meeting, a work plan was approved. Marietta prepared a draft outline of how the year would pan out based on that work plan. And it was then given to the secretariat and the management teams so they could have a look at it and amend them according to what's already going down and brewing inside. So you have two proposals here. Mine is basically to review the draft they made and approve it. But MAB, I suppose because it's not ready yet, MAB filed a counter motion for us to formally request a schedule at the next council meeting. Correct me if I'm wrong, MAB, and please introduce your motion if I was mistaken.
Yes. So after the last decision, so the yearly plan came out a little bit of the left field for me at the last meeting because I hadn't been paying attention to that. That was something you were doing, and I think my secretariat needs a bit longer to figure out when everything in their parts will actually take place, especially since some of it is depending on us recruiting people. And I think the core principle for me would be that it makes more sense that this is something sort of owned by the secretariat to begin with. In the original proposal, the board would first decide on a draft and then allow the secretariat to do what they want with that draft, more or less. And I would rather task the secretariat to present a draft. And I think that might be something that we should do earlier in the future, so that the first board basically every year task the secretariat to make an annual calendar based on the work plan that the council meeting has approved. But that we can discuss down the road. But right now, my suggestion is that you task the secretariat to take input from this draft and then make a work plan and a calendar out of it.
Alessandro?
Yeah, so why in the proposal you wrote a tentative schedule for the year? This doesn't resonate me very well.
Sorry, I don't understand the question. Was that me?
Yeah, for you, because I see the proposal and it says the board requests that the secretariat provide a tentative schedule for the year. Why tentative? Provide a schedule, not tentative.
Sure. I mean, I thought I added that because things can change. And if it says a schedule, I was worried that you would then make a decision on it, and then we would have to revisit the board whenever we wanted to change something from one month to another. So it made more sense to write that it would be a tentative schedule so that we can just inform you when we've changed it rather than have to reopen the topic.
Alexander?
Yeah, I just also want to say I believe it should be as tentative since, as Mab said, it's going to, some of these things that we need to do are based on recruiting needs. We don't know if we will have recruits for certain tasks, so therefore we can't really say by when they will be exactly done, but we can give you kind of like if they should be done by this date.
Okay, thank you. Makes perfectly sense to me. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, I suppose not. So then I would suggest the same, to scrap my proposal and to decide on MABs formally. So let's go ahead and proceed to vote, please. Mine is yes. Okay, thank you. And so now we are moving on to discussions without any decisions to be taken. The first point of order is rather communication or update for me, from me to you guys. I feel like, how can I say it? The board's activity and direction has been amiss slightly. So my thinking and suggestion is that I would do weekly check-ins with each of you to assess if everything is all right, if you need any support, and possibly help you out with whatever you're working on or the questions you could be asking yourselves. Because yeah, I will take it on me currently. We have not yet followed up, I mean, on tasks which may or may have not assigned to everyone. So going forward, this is the proposal, weekly check-ins for better follow-up on everyone here and our tasks. Yes, Alessandro?
Yeah, that's a remarkable, wonderful idea. May I suggest not a synchronous, but maybe synchronous meeting, like just, I mean, come on, Jitsi on, mic on, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes. Instead of putting this on the chat, I mean, of course, everyone can change this, but I would prefer to have. I mean, I'm not speaking. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think that it would be more useful if we can meet, if we can find the time to just have five in online in synchronous meeting. 5 minutes online synchronous meeting is way better than I don't know, any asynchronous, because we can always have this asynchronous chat if we want. But the thing is that to have a real check-in, we just it would be nice to have come on. And by the way, Monday works like a shit for me, but still, it's 5 minutes. We can do it, or we can reschedule as we wish. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for your input. And of course, I would encourage you to give your thoughts on this. What I was thinking of, because I've been practicing it a little bit with the Secretariat and Alexander in particular, is that on these Mondays, I will message each one of you to ask about how it's going. But of course, at some point, we could have all together a small call, 5 to 10 minutes. But that will be, in my mind, way less focused on each one of you individually and how you are doing, and it will be more of a group thing. So my thinking really currently is to try and be individualized as much as possible by messaging each one of you separately. Alessandro?
Yeah, so sorry. So my maybe my speech was a bit confusing. I got your plans. I mean, it's not. I mean, even though it would be nice to have a round robin, let's say 5 minutes each, we meet for 15 minutes. We are just 9 or 10 or 8 or whatever, and we put. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's like a weekly meeting, right? If you are in the Scrum mode, it's like the weekly. But if you want to have some, or a daily, whatever. But if you want, I mean, I was referring to one-to-one meeting, so I would prefer, because if you drop me a message there, yeah, of course I will answer you. But still, if I know that I meet you every, I don't know, Monday at 10 or at 10 15 for 5 minutes, then it's a real check-in. You know what I mean? I mean, to have a check-in, you have to be there at that time. Otherwise, you miss the plane. That's, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's a little commitment. It's a more committed action, but still, I don't want to oblige anyone to do it this way.
Yeah, okay, I understand what you mean. I'm not sure if we would be going forward with this. The way I was really envisioning this would be for me to actively reach out to people.
Yeah, I got it. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. You can have this round robin chat with everyone, and then we can react in the meeting. Maybe I could answer you. Okay, can we meet in 5 minutes then, and that we meet or not? That's fine.
Yeah, it's like we can always amend this in the future and make it evolve. Mab?
Yes, this is of course internal in the board, so feel free to disregard my suggestions any way you see fit. But I'm not sure you need a one size fits all solution. So it might be that some people work better with a quick call, and some people work better with an asynchronous check-in. And I think Florian can sort that out on an individual basis. And of course, this is not a decision; this is a discussion. So my suggestion is that you go ahead and you try it out with people. And one of the first things you check with them when you reach out to them on Monday is how they want to be checked in with, and then you adapt to their preferences as good as possible, and then you take it from there. And then you can just report to the board how it's going for the next meeting, so that you can adapt the procedure based on the input that you get when you do it.
Yeah, thank you for this. That's a good suggestion. The only thing I'm not clear yet regarding Alessandro's comment is, were you suggesting some kind of collective check-in, or did I misunderstand?
No, I wasn't suggested, but your misunderstanding was a great idea, in my opinion, as well. So we could potentially do it anyway.
So we could do it either a check-in or a check-out, which is slightly different,
Yeah,
especially because we are all on different schedules. So it's
I
like,
think we can try with your proposal, and then let's see how we want to move forward. I mean, it's totally fine. Mab suggestion was a good suggestion. We can adapt, and we can see how it goes after a couple of rounds.
yeah, that's yeah, of course. What I really want to avoid is like having some kind of boring corporate meeting, but yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you for your thoughts. Anything else? Anyone would like to take the floor on this? Okay, I suppose not. So the next point would be the Think Twice conference. I don't know who wants to take the lead, Marp or Alexander, maybe? Depending on who's most updated on the subject.
Yes, sorry, I'm super happy to jump in on this. I was
Yeah.
just writing something down at the same time, so it took me a second to be prepared. So the Think Twice conference is a thing that I've been working quite a lot on lately. I think if it's is done right, it might be one of our big flagship events of the years, because we don't normally do that many events. So having this will be a first, and we're doing it together with Pirate Parties International, because they've been doing Think Twice for irregularly 4 times before, and they were very keen to do this together with us to increase the collaboration between the two organizations. So it's mainly their chair Keith who is involved on their sides, but they also discuss it regularly in their board meetings and so on. So I think there will be a standing update for the foreseeable future for the board's meetings until the conference takes place, where I update you on the process. Right now, the original plan was that we would crowdfund our costs, but we haven't started with that because of the bank account. But also, we're talking with an external actor, and it's an NGO starting to be built around the people from the Stop Killing Games community. It's not entirely formalized yet, but because they're shopping around for which jurisdiction it's best to set up in and so on, like we did once upon a time. But they want to organize a different conference on basically around their policies of end of life of games, and turn it into some kind of awards ceremony. And since they're going to have a fairly big event, including some networking, we figured that maybe it would be worth looking into having our event as a side event at their venue, because then, they would already have the venue and they will need it for the evening, but we can use it for the day. And there will be coffee breaks and caterings and so on, where we can interact with the people that are coming for their part of the event. So since their event is planned to be much bigger than ours, we suggested that maybe their event will be the main and ours will be the side event. But it would still allow us to, get traction from their event. We're currently in the middle of call for speakers. It's on our website. There's a call for speakers on our website. There's a call for speakers on the Pirate Parties International website. It would be super helpful if you share that in your network, if you have people working on AI, because getting good speakers to the conference will be gold to then also attract people to come for the conference. And this collaboration with SKJ is the main reason why we suggested that we would move the location from Vienna, which was the original idea, to Brussels. And of course, it's also more easy for us because we have a lot of people in the secretariat in Brussels that can help out at location and so on. If there is resources also to cover travel, we will find that out in the next couple of months. It might be a good idea for the board to look at having either a board meeting or a board retreat, which might be better, on the Sunday, so the day after the conference, because then you could bring the board to Brussels, or we could bring the board to Brussels for our flagship event, and then you could stick around for the next day and have a retreat, possibly also together with the management team, so that we get to know each other and learn to work better together. Time-wise, that will also look good for preparing the annual work plan for next year, because this would be in October. So that is roughly around the time when we need to start working on that work plan. So that is what I have at the moment. If you have any questions about the conference, I think this would be a great opportunity to ask them, and I will answer them as good as I can. It might be that I have a lot of answers in my head that I don't really realize that you need. So no question is too insignificant or too dumb to be raised.
Yes, Alexander?
Yeah, so I was discussing with Florian about the covering of these travel expenses that you had mentioned to me, Mab, and we were thinking, is it possible to also cover the how do you say this? The costs of those speakers who will be coming, as it might be kind of eye-opening to them if they're able to also have their stays covered. I know you said you
We can't hear you, Alexander.
will probably. Oh, I'm done. Or was I muted the whole time?
The last thing we heard was you said, I know you said, and then you
Oh
muted.
gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah, I'm not sure where to restart. So I was discussing with Florian about what you had told to me, Mab, that there will be an external funder most likely covering the travel costs for the board and hopefully the management team as well. We are wondering if it's possible to extend the covering of these costs to the speakers as well, as this might be attractive for speakers to have their flights and board covered.
I don't think so. The problem is we want the speakers to sort of commit now, and we don't know what money we have now. So we can't really offer it at this point, and then offering it later makes no sense, because either they're already committed and then we don't need to cover them, or they didn't apply and then we can't cover them. So in the future, if we have piles of money lying up ahead of these events, then yes, that would make sense. But for this time around, I don't see us being able to make that promise at this time when we're doing the call for speakers. Luckily, I think there's enough experts on this topic in Brussels to fill our conference and more. So while it centers the speakers to people with access to Brussels, I think that is not too much of a problem, to be honest, because there's enough interesting speakers in Brussels, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Can I add to that? Also, if I have to choose between covering the cost for the board to attend the conference and covering the cost of some speakers to attend the conference, I might be inclined to cover the cost of the board. And that is purely for the networking effect of bringing everyone to Brussels and being able to meet people outside of the organization and the guests at the Stop Killing Game event and other actors that will be there for that purpose.
Okay, thank you for the details. Any other questions or remarks on the subject?
If I may.
Yes.
No, it's a good idea. Let's see how far we can cooperate. I think they're fairly serious so far, the people. And in terms of what Map just said about bringing the board together, I tend to agree. I think it's more important that we meet in person than to give the money to the speakers.
Okay, thank you for your input. I think we are reaching the end of the discussion. Oh, yes, Map, go ahead.
Yes, very quickly. So please all book in your calendar that weekend, and maybe also let me know if you are not available to come to Brussels that weekend. I mean, I wouldn't book the flight tickets just yet because we don't know if you have the money, but it would be good for you to already tentatively block it out in your calendars and let us know if you can attend or not. So it's the 16th and 17th of October, if that is a Saturday and Sunday. You don't need to tell us now in the chat. So it's 17th and 18th of October. But it would make sense to come on the Friday and leave in the evening on the Sunday, or stay longer if that fits with your schedule. But it would be good to have you there from the evening of the Friday until the evening of the Sunday. So it might be good for you to look at that somewhere and note it down who can attend already. But you don't need to say it now during the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think this point is closed. Does anyone has a last minute thing to discuss or share? Yes, Mate?
Hey, so I wanted to ask because what I've been discussing with the Czech pirate board, they are, from what I've heard and I remember, the plans are so the European Pirates is gonna be a workable organization which can help during the elections. I know it's still a long time until the election, but I mean, for example, we are gonna have primary elections probably before, like 1 year before it, and I think the next board is already gonna have some like decisions about it. So I would like just would want to, like, it's not rush in rush right now, but just want to like slowly having some discussions. What is the end game? How the organization should look in the time of the European elections, and how the organization should somehow like collaborate. I think that's gonna be like some big discussion afterwards, and like a lot of reshaping the organization. So, but I think it's kind of starts to be the time to start working on that.
Yes, Mab?
That sounds like an excellent topic to discuss on the 18th of October this year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say
indeed.
so.
I'm just saying, I think that is a much better discussion to have face to face around the table with breakout sessions than try to do it over Jitsi.
Yeah, I was like not talking about I want to discuss it now. I'm just like, so we don't. Yeah, just wanted to have it in the written that it would be nice to at least think about it, that we should start soon about it. That was my point. It's not that I would want to discuss it right now.
Yeah, thank you. So let's make sure that the two previous things are written down in the minutes. The point about the tentative conference date 16th and 17th of October, and then that it will be great to think about how we can support our members in the elections, which will be a topic of discussion around the same dates during what will be a board retreat. Thank you for this. Anything else? Yeah, so let's make sure at least that it's in the minutes here, so we can find it back, and then we can get started on outline. On my end, I will need to gain access again, but it can work. Okay, I suppose nothing else is left to be discussed. So I will thank you all for coming and sharing your thoughts with us. Thanks again for your work and involvement. We will see each other or like talk to each other at the next board meeting. In between, I will start out from tomorrow on these check-ins with all of you. And let's say that the meeting is closed now at 7:28. Thanks again.
All right, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great